Hey, everybody. So I was actually getting on my computer to type up a post for you for today. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make a video. And so here I am. All right. And so happy Monday to you. I've been talking to a lot of you all behind the scenes. And so I have, been hearing some things that you're needing some help with. And it sounds like so many of you already are on a healthy lifestyle journey and you're already doing so many things so right and so correctly. But you're getting hung up on the nutrition part. And I totally understand. And so, what I'm going to tell you right now are just a few things that I have read and researched. I'm just going to kind of do little bullet points just to kind of so I can be like, okay, here's some of the things I've learned about nutrition that we can do differently that's absolutely going to help us as we get older. So the number one thing to know is that a lot of our hormone health is in our gut, and our gut microbiome, the healthiness of our gut microbiome is huge to how we feel, and it's huge on our energy, it's huge on our PMS side effects, it's huge on our aches and pains, on so many things. And so when our gut microbiome is kind of out of whack, we are going to feel lethargic. We're going to feel, honestly, a lot of the symptoms that many of us are having day-to-day basis anyway. But being lethargic is one of those, and not being very regular, and having some crazy mood swings and things like that. And so I have been testing something that's been really working very, very well for me. And what I've been doing is in my world, in the programs that I follow, there's something called the gut protocol. And so I want to say I'm not following it to a T, but I am following it very closely. And something that I am doing is that I'm being very well aware of gluten, of sugar, of alcohol, and dairy. And I'm greatly limiting that. And I have seen a lot of great positive benefits by doing that. And so that's just something to think about. So if you take a step back and you kind of look at your nutrition, do you feel like you are doing a good job when it comes to your carbohydrate intake? When you look at your carbohydrate intake, are you having a lot of silly carbs? Like you're eating a lot of crackers, a lot of chips, a lot of desserts, things like that. Are your carbohydrate intake coming from that? A lot of bread with gluten in it. When you look at your sugar intake, does it seem like you're having a lot of sugar every day? And I mean added sugar, not the sugar that comes naturally from foods like fruit. Like that's totally fine. Okay. Also, look at your dairy intake. Or do you feel like you're like, yeah, I have cheese all the time, I have dairy all the time? And so just kind of noticing that is something to be aware of, because I have been testing a hybrid approach to the gut protocol and greatly limiting that, greatly limiting alcohol, looking more at fermented foods. And that is greatly helping my energy. It's greatly helping my digestion. It's greatly just affecting how I feel overall. So that's kind of one thing about nutrition that I found that seems to be a really big deal. The other thing, okay, that I've been testing, because what's happening for me is that like everything's kind of like I'm noticing more in my midsection. I'm like, what the heck? What I was doing in my 30s is like not working as well. And so one of the things that I was noticing was that I had gotten really lax on tracking my nutrition. And so when I don't track my nutrition, I usually don't have enough protein. I don't eat enough veggies. I don't eat enough fruit. I honestly don't eat enough of everything. Okay. I have no problem getting in my carbs, you guys, ever. Okay. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. So when I went back to tracking my nutrition, recognized that, what I noticed was that my protein intake was so low. And from the research that I'm reading and everything that I'm learning about, that we absolutely 100% need more of a protein intake. And so women who are, I would call us moderately active. Like I'm not training for any kind of race right now. I'm not working out for more than 45 minutes, 5 or 6 days a week. Like I'm not an ultra marathon or anything like that. Right. So I would call myself like moderately working out. And so when we're moderately working out and we're getting older, we need more protein to build muscle, because I feel like I've talked about this before, but let me just kind of try to sum it up. I'm like struggle explaining like these sorts of medical terminology, but the older we get, our body is producing less, if any, of a type of estrogen that our body needs to build muscle. And so our body is still producing estrogen, but we're very much estrogen deficient in many ways. And sometimes in some parts of the month, we're estrogen dominant. And it just depends on our cycle. It depends on if our cycle dropped an egg and we had progesterone come in and all this kind of stuff. But overall, we are missing as we get older. We're getting less and less and less. There's 3 types of estrogen that our body creates when we're in like childbearing phases of life. And the 3rd type of estrogen is the critical one to helping us build muscle. And that 3rd one is diminishing and vanishing as we get older. And so as we get closer to menopause, that type of estrogen is going down, 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 down. So we have to kind of step in and help our body build the muscle that we want to burn. And so that's why I talked about in that post, lifting heavy weights. And so we've got to lift heavy weights because we got to break down that muscle, but then we have to help it build. And without this one type of estrogen, and if we're not eating enough protein, we're really kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, so to speak. And so getting enough protein is essential. So one of the things, just to really, just kind of sum it up for you, one of the really easy things that I'm doing is I've gotten back to tracking. Okay. And I track using the Portion Fix meal plan and the container system, if that's familiar to some of you. And, or you could track macros on MyFitnessPal, but like when I logged in, it was like going to charge me a bunch of money. So maybe there's a trick there I'm not aware of. So I'm tracking, I'm writing things down. I'm keeping track of everything in a binder with my nutrition. But what I'm trying to do is I'm combining Gut Protocol and Portion Fix, but I'm increasing my protein intake for breakfast and lunch. So, I mean, honestly, like within an hour of me getting my workout done in the morning, I'm probably having like 40 grams of protein, which is about 2 servings of protein. And so a lot of times it's happening with my Shakeology and my Recover, or it's happening with my Recover and then I'm having eggs and turkey bacon, but I'm eating a lot of protein in the morning because it's right after my workout. So kind of pumping your body with a lot of protein right after workout is super, super smart. Okay. But then for lunch, I'm also having about 1.5 servings to 2 servings of protein at lunch. So I'm packing in my protein. I'm having more. I'm having, how many servings of protein am I having a day? So I'm having 3, 4, 5, 6 servings of protein a day. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Okay, I'm having 6 servings of protein a day. And a lot of that, like 4 servings, 3 to 4 servings of that are happening between lunch or breakfast and lunch. And so that's just huge. So those are just 2 little small things to think about. And so what I would highly recommend that you do is just to start to become aware. So I'm going to challenge you all here in the next week. So this week, I'm going to post this on Monday and I'm going to leave it up for the week. I'm going to give you all a chance to watch this. I want you to engage with this video and I want you to just kind of tell me. And so what I would love for you to do is I would love for you to start just like writing down what you're eating. Okay. Without judgment. Like literally grab a binder, grab a notebook, write down what you're eating with 0 judgment. And then just notice, am I having a lot of gluten? Am I having a lot of sugar? Am I having a lot of dairy? Am I drinking 1 to 2 glasses of alcohol every single day? Right there, you're going to learn a lot. Okay. Because if you're having all of those things, that's probably directly correlated to some of the things that are going on with how you're feeling right now. Okay. And we definitely need to dial that in. Okay. And I still have alcohol. I still have dairy. I still have sugar. I still have gluten, but I'm greatly decreasing it and replacing with other awesome things that I never feel deprived. Okay. And then the second thing you would want to do is you want to look and see if you think you're having enough food, and especially protein, because if you're under eating, shooting yourself in the foot. I've said that twice now. Okay. But then also thinking about your protein, when you have breakfast, are you having a protein source? When you have lunch, are you having protein? When you eat a snack in the morning, are you having protein? Right. I mean, because if you're deficient in protein, we're not going to build muscle. We're not going to burn fat. Our body is going to stay the same, if not continue to grow in the ways we don't want it to, So I wanted to kind of share that with you because I was like, I'm not going to type all this out. So this is the content I'm giving you for this entire week. Okay. And so I want you to come here. I want you to ask questions. I want you to document. I want you to talk to each other. I want you to share and give some ideas and all that kind of good stuff. Okay. And so, but a key, protein, a key, clean, healthy, gut friendly foods. Okay. I can drop all the resources you need. Just let me know.